I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure this is all the creation of Rich Paul. This is Rich Paul's way of creating some sort of either energy towards moving off of or moving the Lakers to buy out LeBron, or just a way to get people to be kind of sympathetic and talk about LeBron. What's the end game? Could you just trade him and say, hey, or could you buy him out? You got a new owner that paid $10 billion dollars? You could, but that would be really bad for business. That would be really, really dumb. And oh, yeah, by the way, if you want to extract a little revenge for, like, we drafted Bronny, we gave him a 4-year guaranteed contract. We played Bronny. We've done everything you wanted. We hired J.J. Redick.
Doug Gottlieb talks about the end game for LeBron James. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Kobe Altman, Mike Gansey, and who was like his is it Brandon Weems got contract extensions with Cleveland, and LeBron gives them a shout out on Twitter, leading some to speculate he really wants Cleveland to come and get him. Which kind of gets us to the part of the story which is, I guess, odd. So Summer League's going on. Lakers are playing. I believe it was Friday night. And they start talking about LeBron in front of LeBron while LeBron's at the game with his daughter watching their son, Bronny, play. And they ask him, if he wants to come on. I don't have blank to talk about. Sure, LeBron. Because that's what LeBron does. He does the passive-aggressive thing.
Yeah, very passive-aggressive. I wasn't surprised that he turned down the interview. LeBron, he's not going to do an impromptu interview, especially all the narratives and stuff he created. He's not going to be able to back it up. He's going to allow Rich Paul to be his puppet, look crazy out there, the comments that are being made. He's going to hide behind Rich Paul as he continues to be passive-aggressive. LeBron, bro, you got to grow up. Been in the league 23 years. You know better than this. You know what it is, but he's trying to play games with the media.
If he wants to get somebody fired as head coach, he doesn't say anything, talk about it. He lets everybody else talk about it.
Of course.
When he's done with a teammate and he wants them traded, he just doesn't talk to them, just moves off of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then ESPN went further in a story which has now been widely reported that 4 teams checked in with Rich Paul in regards to a trade to acquire LeBron James, which is, I guess, news to us. It's interesting. It's worthy of discussion, but there's a pattern building there. Here's the pattern. Go back to last week, and we talked about it, that there's a Ramona Shelburne story that has the Lakers not informing LeBron about the sale of the team.
And then LeBron and Clutch Sports got in their feelings like it ain't true, it didn't happen. But the way that LeBron put these stories out, he's not believable. So we don't really know what's going on with LeBron. You signed a contract, you could have became a free agent, you could have bypassed all this BS, became a free agent. Those 4 teams, they would still be interested, right? I believe more teams probably would have reached out to LeBron, but by him controlling these narratives, LeBron, he's all over the place. He doesn't know what to do. They're not executing these media moves like they used to. The league is done with LeBron. The Lakers are done with LeBron. And LeBron, just go ahead and retire, bro. You're embarrassing yourself.
Then you read the story and you start to go, hey, Rich Paul is a pretty big source to this story. Then you read previous stories from when the Lakers were sold, and part of the story is reported by the same network, ESPN, is that LeBron and Luka were both informed of the sale of the team.
I don't know what to believe, man. It's crazy.
Okay, so progression of events. First, LeBron opts in to his player option. Second part is, at the exact same time, Rich Paul releases kind of that damning statement, which is LeBron wants to be part of a championship. And again, I'm not quoting verbatim here, but basically, like, Lakers aren't about LeBron, so this, there's a lot of past tense in it. This will probably be the last year. Lakers, hey, they want to surround themselves with whatever Luka wants to win a championship.
Yep, more BS statements.
Then the Ramona Shelburne story comes out. Then the story comes out Friday that 4 teams have touched base about a trade, and then you look at the Lakers, who haven't even announced that LeBron has signed the player option. What does this all mean?
It's just showing that LeBron, he can't control the media like he used to. The people that you thought he would have been cool with, Brian Windhorst, he already called him out, basically called him a weirdo for being his imaginary friend, like they got some type of brotherhood. LeBron, when he was on his media tour, going at Stephen A. Smith on the Pat McAfee show, he already called out Windhorst. So he's been slowly standing on business, I guess some type of business with the media, and it's starting to backfire on LeBron. So the way that he was able to control the media for about 22, 23 years, it's not happening no more. The media, they're starting to call LeBron out on his BS. Rich Paul, he's looking crazy out there with these random statements, being LeBron's puppet. Everything is backfiring for LeBron James.
I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure this is all the creation of Rich Paul. This is Rich Paul's way of creating some sort of either energy towards moving off of or moving the Lakers to buy out LeBron, or just a way to get people to be kind of sympathetic and talk about LeBron. And here's the easiest reference point. When LeBron was going to the Lakers from Cleveland, everybody knew he was going to the Lakers from Cleveland. Everybody. Right? His kids were, I know because my kids went to the same school, his kids did at least one day where they visited this school.
Yeah, I remember
Then they
that.
were up in the valley in Sierra Canyon. The stories came out that they were checking out those schools. So real stories. Okay. And part of it was that there was this smoke screen created by Rich Paul where, hey, he might go to San Antonio. Like if you're going to pick a team for LeBron to go to, San Antonio's not it. There's not a lot of media attention. And the number one thing they tell you to do if you want to join the San Antonio Spurs is get over yourself.
Yeah, I remember those stories back in the day when LeBron was leaving Cleveland to go to LA. There were some teams to where maybe it's Philly, maybe it's San Antonio, and a couple other teams. So he's always been able to control the media, put out these false statements, make it seem a certain way. But it's a little bit different now only because every team in the NBA, the media, the fans know that he pretty much has maybe this season and maybe next year, depending on where he wants to retire, to be in the league. So they're not going for the bait. LeBron, you can't bait the media like you used to. Yeah, you're trying to keep it up, trying to keep the media on their heels, but it's going to catch up to LeBron James. At the end of the day, I don't think he's going anywhere right now. He's going to be in the LA uniform by the beginning of the season.
No one's ever thought LeBron is over himself. And his guys would not have the operate with the same power. And if you really think about it, not only the Lakers not talked about him signing an extension, the Lakers haven't let anything out. We didn't know about the Luka trade till the Luka trade happened. We haven't known about any of these things till they happened. They've done a really good job of running a really quiet ship. And this is something I do know, that when Magic Johnson was there, they were super, super frustrated that there was one writer with the LA Times. What was the gentleman's name, Jay Stu? I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm going to, because you were working in local radio, I believe, at the time. There was a local writer who covered the Lakers, I think, for the LA Times. He's an African-American gentleman, and he had all of the Lakers stories. And they were all fresh off of talking on the phone with
Hey, Doug,
Magic Johnson.
You talking about Brad Turner?
Brad Turner. Right?
Shout out to Brad.
Awesome reporter and awesome dude, by the way. I've known him forever.
I've heard
Great
he's
guy.
an awesome dude,
He
and
is.
Magic liked him, and Magic would call him, and Magic would give him everything. And the Lakers were like, dude, you can't do that. We don't do that. Don't lose slips, sink ships. And then Brad Turner would have hey, remember the first time they were trying to trade for Anthony Davis, he had all the details, everything. And then when they didn't get him, they're like, yeah, he's still going to go after him in the offseason. Here's what Magic is thinking. How does he know? Because Magic would call him. So when Pelinka got control of the shop, Pelinka was a no leaks guy. None, zero, zip, zilch, nada.
And now we're slowly starting to get the leaks from the Lakers. They're trying their best to keep things under wraps. But now that you got Rich Paul, you got LeBron, there's only so much that you can keep contained with the Lakers. Even though they're trying to play it off, I do believe they feel a certain way about LeBron. They did a lot for him. Drafted Bronny, traded for AD, traded for Westbrook. You ruined the young core of your team. Yeah, you won a bubble championship, but that was pretty much it. You had a better chance of keeping that young core with LeBron until he got to this point, or maybe a few years before, and maybe he still win a championship with all those young players maturing. So for LeBron to feel a certain way about the Lakers, him starting to show it in a passive-aggressive way, I do believe the Lakers, they feel a certain way about LeBron James.
So how would these stories get out, and why would they be reaching out to Rich Paul, and how would this, like, it's obvious. Rich Paul's either trying to get LeBron bought out, or it's just a urinating contest where he's trying to say, hey, we're still the biggest dog. Look at all these championship teams that still want LeBron.
It could be a little bit of that. Again, I don't know if a buyout's going to happen. Reports are saying that LeBron supposed to be showing up to training camp leading into the season, supposed to start the season with the Lakers, but you just never know these days. After Luka got traded, anything is possible. And again, LeBron being in his 23rd season, he knows the end is near. If he wants to buy out, he might as well just go ahead and put it out there so those 4 teams plus can start getting ready. But his best bet, go ahead, play out the season, honor your contract, try to lock in, maybe go on the playoff run, get bounced out in game 7 of the first round or in the second round, and go ahead and become a free agent and maybe go to the Cavs or maybe the Mavs. There's some rumors going on with those teams. So LeBron, he got a lot of work to do, but at the same time, he wants to continue to control these narratives. And again, it is backfiring. And LeBron James, go ahead and retire right now.
I don't know. I guess my question is, what is the end game? What's the end game? Because the Lakers, they're not going to buy out LeBron James.
I don't see it happening.
Right? And no one's trading for a $53 million contract for a 40-year-old player who's been hurt a great portion. What is he, 5 of the last 7 years?
Yeah, he's starting to catch up them injuries.
We already know he takes his break in March.
Damn, throwing shots.
So this is not me, like, destroying LeBron. This is me going, like, is this really what we're doing? You're an agent for the most successful player currently in the NBA. Like, we don't get any of this stuff on Steph Curry. Steph Curry's won 4 championships. Steph Curry's an all-time great. Steph Curry basically pushed them over the threshold, won the game in the Olympics last year in the gold medal game. I mean, that's Stephen Curry. We don't get any unhappiness with or what he wants to happen or coaching staff or player moves or any of that stuff. Why? Because the Warriors aren't sharing any of those details. Same thing with the Lakers.
Yep. Fortunately, the Warriors, they don't got to deal with Rich Paul being all up in people's business, trying to control the organization, being a puppet. I think he represents Draymond, but you don't really got too much going on with Draymond there. So Rich Paul, he can stay out of Warriors' business and don't try to infringe and see what's going on. But with LeBron, he has a huge ego. Steph Curry, he ain't worried about that. He saved Team USA, but they went ahead and gave LeBron James the most valuable player of that team, which it should have went to Steph Curry. But that was like the last few moments of LeBron James controlling the media, controlling the NBA and just basketball. The tides have shifted. LeBron, the end game is you're going to report to training camp. You're going to report to your team. You will start with the Lakers when the season starts. He's not going anywhere. But if things go bad, if his ego keeps getting in the way, don't be surprised if the Lakers go ahead and pull that trigger. You know what? Let's work on a buyout. You talking all that junk, saying that teams are interested. All right, call his bluff. Talk to him, say, okay, let's work on the buyout. You want to leave or let's work on a trade. And I guarantee that'll shut LeBron up. So the end game, it can go in different directions, but I just think the near future game is him showing up in the LA uniform at the beginning of the season.
We only get it with LeBron. And again, none of this happens without LeBron saying it's okay. And LeBron's even participated in it. Playing golf in Akron, wearing a welcome home shirt, doing the shout out to Weems with the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. All of those things are all part of Team LeBron's plan. Like, it's got to be a, hey, we want to go back to Cleveland.
That could be something.
And finish where we started. And, oh, yeah, by the way, they have a really good team. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the East is down this year. All of that makes sense, except the Lakers like, well, why would we do that? Why would we do that? And different organizations do things differently when they get perturbed. Could you just trade him and say, hey, or could you buy him out? You got a new owner that paid $10 billion? You could. But that would be really bad for business. That would be really, really dumb. And, oh, yeah, by the way, if you want to extract a little revenge for, like, we drafted Bronny. We gave him a 4-year guaranteed contract. We played Bronny. We've done everything you wanted. We hired J.J. Redick. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. Part of me thinks the Lakers, they're not going to say or do anything for a reason, nor do they have to.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, the Lakers, they've been kissing LeBron butt ever since he entered LA, since he showed up. They drafted Bronny. They signed his podcast co-host, JJ Redick, made him a coach, traded for AD, traded for Russ. So LeBron, he owes a lot to the Lakers, kept his career going, but looks like he's turning his back on the Lakers. And again, the end game for me is him reporting to LA, starting the season, but him showing up in Cleveland, golfing, working out with the rookie at the facility. There could be some smoke signals there, or it could just be a clout move to keep his name in the media during the summer. LeBron loves the attention, so we'll see what happens moving forward with LeBron in LA.